Lesson 2. Pause. The use of pause can be a very effective means of engaging with the audience for the public speaker. For all practical purposes, we may classify pauses under 3 headings: grammatical pause, pause for effect, pause between paragraphs and verses. Grammatical pause. This is indicated by the punctuation. It can also be a useful tool for slowing down a rushed or garbled presentation. If you know you have a tendency to speak too quickly, and consequently your audience is confused about what you are trying to say, the following exercise should prove helpful. Listen to this passage, noting long and short pauses. A73.
There stood the doll's house, a dark spinach green, picked out with bright yellow. Its 2 solid little chimneys, glued onto the roof, were painted red and white, and the door, gleaming with yellow varnish, was like a little slab of toffee. 4 windows, real windows, were divided into panes by a broad streak of green. There was actually a tiny porch, too, painted yellow, with big lumps of congealed paint hanging along the edge.
Pause for effect, or dramatic pause, is used to make a word stand out or to help build up the dramatic tension. Listen to the following exercises, noting the effective use of pause. A74. And the winner of the Oscar for Best Actress is Kate Winslet.
I don't understand. You mean you love me?
The door slowly opened, and there stood Dracula. Chairman of the jury, do you find the prisoner guilty or not guilty?
Guilty, Your Honour.
Pause between paragraphs in prose or between verses in poetry. This pause is important to separate different ideas and to give your audience time to take in each point before moving on to the next. A75. Once upon a time, there was a little girl named Red Riding Hood, who lived with her mother in a cottage by the forest. She was called Red Riding Hood because her proudest possession was a beautiful red cloak with a hood, which her mother had made for her. One day, she went to visit her grandmother, whose house was in the middle of the forest. She was taking her some freshly baked bread. No sooner had she entered the forest, when who should she meet but a seemingly friendly wolf. A76.
What is this life if, full of care, we have no time to stand and stare? No time to stand beneath the boughs and stare as long as sheep or cows. No time to see when woods we pass, where squirrels hide their nuts in grass. No time to see in broad daylight streams full of stars, like skies at night. A poor life this, if, full of care, we have no time to stand and stare.